Hello, my name is Anthony, and welcome to the first installment in my DC universe. Since I made my teaser trailer, I know a lot of you guys have had a lot of positive response to my ideas of what this universe could be with me behind the wheel. And really, honestly, that makes me really excited. I was really happy to see the positive feedback that you guys gave me, and I hope you're ready to hear my ideas. So, to start things off, I want to set the stage. Let me present this world to you. Now, first off, as I may have said in the original video, I honestly don't remember off the top of my head, this is not for a comic book or a TV show or movie specifically. These are just my ideas for a DC universe to present it in any sort of shape or form. This is just creative ideas and different templates and formats that I would like to put these characters in, pretty much. So try not to kind of have it set in one specific thing. If it helps you think this as a film series, go right ahead. If you'd like to think of this as an alternate comic book universe, television show, cartoon, it doesn't matter. These are just stories with these characters that I am presenting to you to kind of give you my idea of the DC universe. So what is my DC universe exactly? Well, as of right now in the modern age, we'll say 2016, that's how the universe starts, there are no current mainstream superheroes. Superman has yet to reveal himself to the world. Neither has Wonder Woman or Aquaman. There is no Flash running around the streets of Central City. There is none of that crazy stuff going on. There might be a guy dressed up in a bat costume who happens to have a colorful sidekick in Gotham City, but the way I like it is Batman is legend status. There's no confirmed sort of superhero running around in Gotham. So as of right now, there is no public world superhero in the sense that we would think of them, at least not yet. But just because there are none now doesn't mean that the world never had superheroes. And so really, in order to establish the world how it is, and the story that I want to build to, I feel like it's necessary to kind of go back and see where the world used to be. So with this old superhero group, it's somewhat like the Watchmen status. There's the original Minutemen, the Watchmen characters. But instead of going for the people turn on heroes, and that's why there's not that many around, stuff like The Incredibles, stuff like Marvel and DC films right now. Instead of going down that route, I want to go for something a bit more internal, and kind of give a reason as to why there were superheroes and why there isn't now. So my original team, which takes place around the 70s and 80s era, probably late 70s, early 80s, is the Justice Society of America. I will say up front that my Justice Society is a bit different, and when I say a bit, I would say pretty different from what you may think of when you think the Justice Society. Characters like Jay Garrick and Alan Scott are not the Green Lantern and Flash of my JSA. And I know a lot of people are already calling foul. Like, no, those characters are the JSA. Those are the original, Flash and Green Lantern characters. And you want that whole slew of characters like Dr. Fate and Our Man and all that stuff. Listen, guys, I totally understand that. But the way this universe is being set up is that it's one Earth, one universe to be put in its place. And I still want characters like Jay Garrick and Alan Scott to be present, so they will be present, but in an entirely different way. That still makes them important to my Flash and my Green Lantern and all that fun stuff mythos. So, to kind of establish my JSA, it consists of these members. We have Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, Barry Allen, the Flash, Oliver Queen, Green Arrow, Dinah Laurel Lance, the Black Canary, and Helena Bertinelli, the Huntress. So there are 5 core members of this team. Now you may be thinking it's like, oh, Hal Jordan, Barry Allen, those are all Justice League characters. What are they doing on this JSA? Well, for these characters, I've decided to make them a bit older. These are going to be more legacy characters, bit different, kind of putting them in a different mindset than my future Justice League that I'm going to be building. So these characters are all going to be interacting, basically being the superhero team. And for these characters, they aren't saving the world from crazy supervillains or alien invasions. They're more of just old school superheroes, stopping disasters from happening, saving people from a volcano that's erupting on an island, or, stopping bank robbers. There are no extreme supervillains yet. And we'll get into more and more of these individual characters at some point, But to kind of, like I said, build the universe, set the stage, we're going to go into the JSA and, more importantly, the final mission of the JSA. And like I said, guys, don't worry. Characters like Jay Garrick, Alan Scott, even Wildcat, I've got plans for them. They just won't be donning any costumes anytime soon. And if that bums you out, I don't know what to tell you. So we have our final mission of the JSA. So we start off with Hal Jordan sort of flying in space, doing as he does. He's the Green Lantern of Space Sector 2814, your normal Green Lantern stuff. And he sees something off in the distance in space, a big fireball coming right towards Earth. And of course, this is Hal Jordan. This is in early days of superheroes. There's not a lot of power, like heavy hitters going on. So he figures, I can stop this. I'm the Green Lantern. I can do whatever my mind thinks of. So he attempts to stop it, and it burns right through his construct. And it takes him aback. He's like, okay, well, that's new. And he tries to stop it again. Makes like a big net around the big fireball, and is trying to pull it back, and it busts right through again. At this point, Hal realizes that he's going to need some help. So he calls on his communicator, being like, hey, Flash, looks like we got something coming your way. And we see this fireball, and it smashes right into the middle of the road in this little small town. Kind of like the New Mexico town in Thor. It's kind of like the Destroyer fight, but different. And I'll explain why here in a second. So this creature lands right in the middle of this small town, in the middle of nowhere, kind of like a Smallville, kind of like a New Mexico Thor scene, right down in the middle of Main Street. And all these people are like, what is that? We've never seen anything like that. I have no idea what this is. And this big white alien with like red and purple highlights comes out, and it is looking around, and it immediately starts like picking up cars and throwing them. And, it hits like a fire hydrant, the thing pops up, goes crazy, and everyone's freaking out because this big monster's here and they don't know what to do. Immediately, Red Streak zooms by, takes the alien, and zips it right out of town. So right off the bat, we get our danger out of the way. We present the danger, show that it is a danger, but then we immediately get out of the way to show that the superheroes, their first thing to take care of is saving people. So the Red Streak, the Flash, Barry Allen, zips the creature right out of town. And of course, Barry Allen is like, okay, well, this is new. This is a big alien. Hal always told me he went to space, but I never thought I'd see something in front of me. And he starts talking to the creature because this is Barry Allen. He's the person that connects with humanity out of the JSA. And of course, the monster starts like trying to attack the Flash, and the Flash starts zipping around, saying like, oh yeah, no one's been able to hit me on the Flash. He's moving, and then finally, the alien gets so fed up. And the Flash, of course, is getting a little cocky, and finally the alien gets a hit on him, smacks him right into the ground. And Flash sort of has to shake his head, and he's like, okay, geez, all right then. He starts trying to fight back, but unfortunately the alien's just too much and keeps knocking him back, and finally just punches him, like shoots him across a few feet, across this sort of desert or plain type area. And like I said, with Hal Jordan in space, this is the first time he's ever had a problem. Same thing with Barry Allen. This is the first time he's ever had a problem. This is their first real moments of, oh, geez, there are things that are powerful out there that we can't stop. This is, the days of stopping earthquakes and, bank robbers may be over. And so, boom, this alien shows up and starts attacking the Flash. Eventually, Green Lantern, along with Green Arrow, Black Canary, and the Huntress, he shows up there with in his bubble construct that he normally uses, shows up and is like, hey, you need a hand? They kind of share some sort of witty banter back and forth because they're friends of the JSA. It's the golden days, whatever you want to call it. And so they have their big superhero moment where they're sort of ganging up on this alien and taking it down. And, I always wanted to make sure that the alien is the one that provokes them. The alien always goes for a first attack. They're on the defensive, that sort of thing. We get some quips from Green Arrow. We get to see Black Canary do some cool stuff. It's classic superhero fun as they're trying to take down this monster. Eventually, at one point, the big alien grabs Huntress by the throat, and you're like, oh no, the Huntress, what's going to happen? But then you remember, oh, she's the Huntress. So she kicks him in the stomach, and it falls, and it's freaking out. And finally, after this battle, they finally get it down, and they're sort of standing above it like superheroes, like the shot from the Avengers where they finally get Loki. Very similar to that. They're standing there, and, they're like, wow, we did it. Good job, us. And so the alien starts going off. about how he's like, you can't stop me. You think that I'm your threat and that you could barely take me down. What do you think is going to happen when he comes? And they're like, who's he? And he's like, I've already escaped. I'm not the real threat here. There's only 2 of us left. After me, there will be 1. And then he'll know something's wrong. And so they're like, what is this alien even talking about? And so the alien kind of gives his history about how he was part of this race of beings on Mars. And that's exactly what he is. He's a white Martian, the last of his kind. And out there, somewhere out in space, there's 1 Martian left, 1 green Martian. And he's escaped from something, some kind of collector out there gathering and destroying planets out in the universe. And you're probably wondering, someone destroyed Mars? He didn't destroy Mars. He wiped it out. There's no life forms on that planet anymore because he wiped out an entire species while collecting the 1 last of each. And so this alien is like, I'm the last white Martian, and then whoever's coming to basically come for you. And so the Justice League, or the JSA, I should say, is sitting here thinking, well, this guy's a lunatic. Barry's like, well, maybe we should listen to him. He's obviously a threat, and if there's something worse out there than him, then we need to think about it. And so they tell Hal, it's like, all right, we're going to bring him to the Guardians of the Galaxy. And the White Martian's like, it's too late. There's nothing you can do now to save anyone. You're done. And you're not going to take me anywhere to the Guardians. I have no crimes to answer for. And they're like, well, dude, you just sort of like trashed part of a small town. We got to take you in. You attacked us. You're going to have to answer. If you have no reason to be afraid, then you have nothing to hide. And so the alien starts lashing out and is like, you can't take me. And, of course, the brawl starts all over again. And then eventually we see like this big, elongated, sort of slithering tentacle that's sharp. And, of course, it's an alien, so that's how all aliens look now. We'd see it, and it starts to go for Green Arrow. And Huntress like pushes him out of the way and takes it. So she's got this huge like spike going through her, and she's dead. And I know what a lot of you are thinking, like, you killed the Huntress. I realized I killed the Huntress. I did kill the Huntress because I want to set this is important. The character of Huntress I have plans for. Don't worry about that. But Helena Bertinelli, the Huntress, is dead. I killed her. So, take that with what you will. Green Arrow loses it. He is furious because this version of Oliver Queen, Green Arrow, does have feelings for Helena Bertinelli. Dinah Lance may also have some feelings for Helena Bertinelli. I'm creating some sort of weird, ridiculous love triangle between Oliver Queen, Helena Bertinelli, and Dinah Lance. For the record, no. Helena has no idea and is not aware and has really no feelings of that way for Dinah. But what are you going to do? You can't really control your feelings, and Dinah maybe has some sort of feelings for her as well as for Oliver, and Oliver has feelings for Dinah as well as Helena, and now Helena's gone. So Green Arrow loses it, and he starts going after the monster, and he's taking his arrows and shooting him, and Barry's like, no, stop! And then finally he takes an arrow and like shoves it right through the alien's head. And the last white Martian is dead, and Oliver Queen is the one to kill it. And so they all sort of step back, Dinah has got Helena like in her arms, holding her. She's crying. She's having an awful time. And the JSA sort of had to assess themselves. This was the first real threat that they've ever faced. This is the first time they've ever been tested, truly. And they lost one member, and the other member had to kill someone in order to take him out. And so really, without the world knowing what really happened, the JSA is gone. They disband. They can't do this anymore. Afterwards, Barry Allen starts having problems of his own. Hal Jordan has other duties as Green Lantern. Green Arrow, Dinah obviously have their problems moving forward. The world of superheroes no longer exists because they realize that there's actual threats out there, and there's nothing they can do together to truly stop them if it leads to something like this. So they disband, and the JSA is done. So I know it's a bit of a sad story, but that's the idea I have for the JSA. So that was then. We move forward onto the universe, and all that stuff is still happening, of course, The White Martian told us about this being that's collecting things from different, planets and stuff. And there's a Green Martian out there. And now this old school group of heroes, we have to see where they go and how they affect the current Justice League. And so that's my beginning of the universe. That's setting the stage. Now we know why there is no current superheroes. We know which heroes have pre-existing stories. And so from that point on, we'll move forward with future installments. Let me guys know what you guys think down in the comments below of this story. I want some feedback, kind of telling me what you think of certain characters. And trust me, if there's anything you have questions about, I'm sure they'll be expanded in future installments. Spread out for a whole long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you guys later.